Welcome back. We're spotlighting the case of the missing kayaker who allegedly faked his own death and then fled to Europe. Well, guess what? He's now back here in the United States, returned on his own volition. Now, the Wisconsin father of three is in police custody. His name is Ryan Borgwardt, taken in by officials on Tuesday. Now, police have been in contact with him since November, apparently, after he was reported missing from that kayaking trip back in August.
Is he cooperating with you guys? Have you been able to speak with him in person?
He's cooperated with us. He came back to the United States.
Do you know if he's had any contact with his wife and kids since the last time we spoke here last month?
That I can't release.
What was it in those conversations with Mr. Borgwardt that made him change his mind?
That's going to be up to him someday. But we're not going to release that. But it was one thing that worked in our favor. We brought a dad back on his own accord.
Is he coming back to an angry family? That's a burning question. So this guy is criminally charged with obstructing justice because there was an intense lake search going on, and they said he's obstructed by staging this phony tragedy, that he made it look like the kayak overturned. But they know it didn't, and he reportedly was off in Uzbekistan with a woman that he had interest in. Okay, so now here's what's going on. He entered his not guilty plea. The judge set a really low bond for him, $500. His next court date is January 13th. All right, so let's talk about how there are many more questions than there are answers at this point. Like, why did he leave, and what made him come back, and what did he say to his family, and what did they say to him? Let's bring back in nationally recognized parenting and family relationship expert. She's also an author, psychologist, Dr. Sue Gordon-Bluth, and high-profile attorney John Phillips. Great to have you both here. Dr. Sue, let me start with you. What do you think is going on in that house?
Oh my God, Julie, I don't know, but I'd like to be a bug on the wall. You know, this case is absolutely off the charts. You talk about attention-seeking behavior here. I mean, this guy's got it all over. What's going on in this house right now? I mean, I can only imagine it's going in one or two directions. And one, that they are just so angry about what happened here, and they don't have much remorse or empathy for him. He left his family, abandoned his children, went off to be with a woman, so on and so on. You know, you would think, right, that the wife would be livid, the kids would be angry, but Julie, sometimes they stick by their man, or they stick by their father, because he's come up with a story. They want to believe in him, and sometimes that happens as well. So who knows what's going to happen here? Stay tuned, because this is going to be interesting. And a Lifetime movie coming soon.
Isn't that the truth, Dr. Sue? Yes. You know, I love what you shared there, especially about how you never know. It's kind of an unpredictable thing. You never know if this is going to be a warm welcome or what. I want to ask you, please, Dr. Sue, about the trauma, because I feel so bad for this family. I know you and John do as well. You know, the wife, the children. Can you imagine thinking that your loved one is deceased? Thinking, you know, as officials are going through the lake, divers are there looking for him, trying to recover, you know, his body. They're thinking maybe the kayak overturned. Can you imagine then finding out he's alive? What does that do to a child's brain, Dr. Sue?
It shakes it up, right? I mean, you're on a roller coaster with anxiety, fear, and then, oh my God, he's been rescued. So, you know, look, I think what's going to come out in the long run for these kids is issues with abandonment and trust and all these kinds of issues that come when you have a trauma like this. Betrayal, on and on, which affects relationships later in life. You know, our parents are the people that we're supposed to trust the most. And this is such a breach of trust and betrayal for a child, the healing for his children because of this trauma is going to take a long time. So to me, not sure what was going on, but it seems like the only person he was thinking about was himself.
I love that analysis. Dr. Sue, thank you for that. Our hearts go out to the children as they heal.
Absolutely.
This guy is going to keep going through the legal process, as now he's become a criminal defendant. And get this, John Phillips, get your note ready. He apparently told the judge he wants to represent himself in court as the case proceeds. What do you think about that?
I think he should hire Kim Kardashian to be his attorney. Now, here's the thing. People who only see this segment, you know, later on as these things go, are going to think I'm out of my mind.
No, the Courtney's Courtney's got your back, John.
We're referring back.
We know what's up.
But yeah, you know, representing yourself pro se is always a bad idea. You know, one point I wanted to make here, and you didn't ask the question, is I saw that he was extradited from Georgia, and I was like, that seems like a place that wouldn't have a good relationship with the United States. And apparently the State Department renegotiated in 2023, and we have a rich history with Georgia of 30 years of extradition. So like of all the places, he finds this kind of lesser known country that you would think wouldn't have such a great extradition relationship. And off he's back in Wisconsin. Now I know that he came back voluntarily, but he was coming back either way.
Sure. Oh, that's interesting, John. That's fascinating. So tell me, do you think he's going to make this even worse for himself if he does go pro se, and if he does want to fight this in some way? What would you tell him if you could counsel him, John?
Don't do that. Sorry, was that for me?
Yeah, it was for you, John. Oh, I'm sorry if you both couldn't hear me. Yes, it was for John. I apologize. Yes.
Oh, I thought you said Sue.
Oh, sorry, Dr. Sue. Yeah, no, sometimes the signal can be funny. Yes, John, I was wondering, like, how would you counsel him if this guy's saying, yeah, I really want to go pro se?
You know, don't do that. One, you know, we know that this is the criminal case. This decides whether he's going to be in jail. But we know that the nonprofit that spent all the resources searching for him has contemplated a civil suit. And so, you know, there's other things that his statements he could make in court, issues that he presents could wind up hurting his entire family some more with civil liability. So, you know, if you don't want to spend the rest of a long time, I don't know if this is a life case, but, you know, a long time in jail, and you don't want to, you know, further harm your family, hire a lawyer, shut up, and get past this. Exactly.
And John, I love that point, because he's in criminal court, definitely, probably going to be in civil court too, as you just shared, you know, all of that restitution for the money the county spent looking for him. And then Dr. Sue, is he going to family court potentially with his wife? Your thoughts on where she may stand in all this?
Yeah, so, you know, that's a great point that you just brought up. And by the way, maybe Kimmy K can represent him. I just wanted to get that in, you know, because it'd be better than him representing himself. But anyway, yeah, I mean, they're going to probably have to go into family court, which is, you know, going to become a mess. We know what happens in family court, right? It's two people being pit against each other, and custody may be decided. You know, it breaks my heart because the children are the ones that are innocently dragged through this, as is his wife, because of his selfish motives for himself. And I hope that the court provides this family with the help that they need, because they're all going to need healing.
Isn't that the truth? So beautifully said. We have to leave it there for now. We're going to continue our coverage of this. Dr. Sue Kornbluth, attorney John Phillips, always a pleasure to have you both on the show. Thank you for such fun segments this morning, and such valuable insight as well as we proceed through these cases. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to hit a break.